Okay guys, this is a bit of an update on my e-bike experience. This is the Valk Vista, which I got last Thursday in a box. Put it together the same day, and I've taken it for a couple of rides. Well, I've had it out in the backyard, but I've taken it for a nighttime ride and a daytime ride yesterday, and I plan to actually go somewhere a bit later. It's a bit warm and a little bit gusty outside, so I'm going to wait, and it should be a bit nicer a bit later. Anyway, I said on an earlier video how I'd had trouble. I wasn't a fan of Allen keys because I had a bit of trouble getting the seat. There's two adjustments. This thing just snaps on here, up and down. That's no problem. But this seat to either go forward or backward in the cradle there, and it rocks, and it was pointing right down when I got it, and I wasn't able to get the Allen key in there properly. But I have since taking it right off. I actually did that before on the floor, but obviously what I did this time, I took it off, had it on the kitchen bench, and I was able to get it was quite a tight fit, but once I got it in there, I could tighten it right up, and so I was actually able to tighten it up in that position sort of thing already. I've lifted it maybe just a fraction higher. I may go a fraction higher again. It makes a huge difference when you get the height of your seat right. And so I did that. That's rock solid now. This was wriggling here a little bit after I'd gone for a ride because I hadn't tightened it up enough. I used a pair of pliers type thing. The ones, I don't know what the name of them are, but they lock on. You screw a little thing down. Anyway, so that's done. And I also had to, over here, I needed to tighten the Allen key up in there. There was no problem. And that one, they both fit easy. And when I say tighten that controls this, but that didn't need adjustment. I just checked it and tightened it a bit more. But this, obviously, I hadn't done the one under there quite enough because it had actually moved forward on me and I was sort of pushing it back a bit. And so I've now got that real tight and I shouldn't have any trouble with that. And that's really all. That's what I've done to it. And I've got a little bit of a howl from I call it a howl rather than a squeak from the front disc brakes. Not every time, just occasionally, and I've been reading up about that. I'm not about to race off and buy the stuff that you can get because I may be able to, it's not doing it all the time. I've given the disc brake, I've given it actually a wipe with a rag. Don't go anywhere near it with like lubricant type stuff they were saying, but you use alcohol it is if you don't want to buy the stuff you get in a can, whatever. But I actually did have something like that once, and but I don't seem to have any more, so I didn't have anything to wipe it with. But I'm not going to be in too much of a rush with it. Next time I go out, I might just try using the back brake and see if I get any squeaking from there, and which is over there. And then on the way home, maybe I'll try the front again. As I said, I wasn't doing it all the time. I did sort of feel maybe it was when I was turning. I don't know whether that would make any difference. But it's not a very nice sound when it does it. But I know it can be fixed if it does it. Anyway, so I'll leave that at that. I haven't really had any trouble. And it's a good bike. And actually, you would actually call this a step over. I was listening to some videos and they made reference to two types of bike, a step through and a step over. And a step over really is one where you see these bikes where they've really got sort of a big sort of a loop there, and that bar there would be right down here, sort of more like it's not really the sort of bike I'd want to have. That's what they call a step through. This is more a step over. And when you have the bar there, I don't really know what you call that, other than you can't really call it a men's bike, can you? Because plenty of women are, riding bikes like that. So anyway, so this is a step over, and the more I look at it, the more I like it. And actually, you look at it, it kind of almost looks like a bit like a fat tyre bike, although it's not, of course, because you've got the black rims. And it just makes almost like it blends in with the tyre and almost looks like it's a fat tyre bike. Because as for fat tyre bikes, when I first sort of didn't know a thing about them and been watching videos and that, and my original thought was, I don't like those fat tyre bikes, I just want normal sort of tyres. But the more I've looked at it, the more some of them look quite good, the way they've added stuff to them and that, and they look quite bulky and almost look like, kind of like an older style motorbike in a way, maybe an Indian or something like that. So, and it's not to say I'm going to race out and get one, but I kind of like the fact that mine looks a little bit like that. It's not with the tyres blending in sort of with the rim. You can imagine if that was shiny there, it's just going to look like just a normal sized tyre, but it kind of blends in. So it's like an imitation fat bike, you could call it. And I'm only joking, really. Anyway, that's it, and I'll see you all later.